So a feasibility studies is actually defined to be a study to assess whether the proposed project is actually capable of a solution that is practical, technically doable, economical, socially and environmentally viable, and then how does it meet the client's perspective, what kind of benefit that it will bring, and what type of future operation cost that you need to think about versus any other cost in monetary and non-monetary term, and of course the funding of the project, the sponsorship of the project, and also the profitability of the project. So this is what an a feasibility studies is all about, you see. And follow on here, we're talking about different phases of the feasibility study. So basically, we will need to do some data collection. We will need to see, the technical, you compile those data versus the design of the concept and all that. And then you need to do the market demand, the economic trends, and the authority, the NREB involving the environmental impact, social studies, law and regulations of the country as well, the land usage, the ordinances, and all that will pertain to the project, whether it's actually, you need to collect all this data, okay? And then once you analyze this data against different data, like technical data, economic data, social data, they're all analyzed in their own ways, you see. So once you've done that, you will see that, okay, now the project this is the profile of the project. So technically it's like this, like this. Economically, it will bring this sort of benefit, this sort of cost. Socially, it will bring this sort of benefit, this sort of cost. Some of it may be in dollars and cents, some of it may not be in dollars and cents. There's a very clear analysis of what the project, whether the project is feasible or not, you see, and whether you have the resources to do it or not, and how it's fitting to the corporate strategies. And all this is part of it. So this analysis will also tell you one very important thing. What are the risks involved, you see? So maybe there will be some social impact, social risk. Maybe you may need to purchase the adjacent land, or otherwise you cannot do certain things, for example, or you will need to convince a certain social group of people. Otherwise, they may not agree to the impact on the environment or the noise pollution, the residents around. Their health may be affected, and they will be objecting to the project. So you see, all these analysis will actually be very it's actually going to be very informative about the risk that your project will be facing. And it's very important to understand the risk before you embark onto the project. Some of it may be very, very high risk, and you may need additional money to control it or mitigate it. And then it may make the project not worth it anymore. You can only sell for certain factors, or the benefit can only be up to a certain level, and yet the cost that or the elements that are negative is so high. It is all projected through the risk. So from the data collection to the risk, to the analysis of the data, to the risk assessments, then we will produce a table of feasibility statements to say that these components, this option will be the best option for the project. So you see, economic impact, so it's studied in a different way, you see. And then social impact, we also have sensitivity analysis and risk analysis and scenario planning. These are all techniques for assessing the risk and all that. The what we call the what is this again? Here, the economic impact. The economic impact is all, like I said, most of it are in dollars and cents, or to some degrees, if it's not dollars and cents, it's expressed in other units like numbers, accidents, failures, all these things can be considered as part of the risk, like part of economic analysis. And then you will also study through sensitivity analysis, meaning that you can change a few scenarios and see whether it will work as well, or it can enhance the situation. So this is actually quite common, way of doing economic analysis. Then we also have social impact, how you study social impact, the tools and techniques that is required to do social impact studies. But normally when we do these sort of things, we will get experts to do it as well. Social impact, we may not get the engineers to do it. We may get the social scientists to do it, you see. And then we also have environmental impact, which we will get environmental engineers to carry out, to do the environmental management plan, to do the environmental monitoring, to propose solution effects that the project will have on the environment. So all these are part and parcel of the economic studies. So just now when I said that, you need to collect all this data and these are the type of, the bottom here, this bottom few pages is trying to show you the type of analysis that you can do. And then so once you've done that, okay, majorly is this thing, but of course, like I said, there will be other things like regulation, culture as well, culture and heritage. Some project will have that issue as well. Some project may have issue with land. Some project may have issues with space. Some project may have issues with geographical conditions and all that. So these are all part and parcels of a feasibility study. Okay, and I also strongly emphasize on legal, because you'll be surprised you'll be dumping like millions and billions of dollars, and you realize that it's actually not supposed to, this land is not supposed to be doing these sort of things. You see, you can build a nuclear plant, but then in the end, after you build, you spend so much money designing it and all that, and then you go to the authority and you get rejected, and then you already spend like, $500,000 or 1 million or a few millions on the planning stage, and yet you cannot go to the project. So the legality, the ordinances, the legislative issues, and the contract management are all very important, especially the knowledge of it is also playing a part on with the feasibility study, in the feasibility studies as well. So in the end is all these options that you have, all these different options that you have, are they doable? Okay. So economic studies, like the numerical method, they're all dealing with numbers quantitatively, which Dr. Lee will actually explain to you all towards the end of the semester. Now you need to know that this part here, one part dealing with the project itself, whether it's a yes or no, or whether this is a different project selection. And now this part here is also the second part here is about the components, options to the components. Do you understand the difference? It may sound very similar, because some project is very straightforward. It will just be a yes, you have to do this, and yet you don't need to think about too much of component study. It will just be it. That is the product. That is what we need, and full stop. Okay. But of course, not all projects are so straightforward. In fact, the straightforward project will probably be just like 20%. A lot of things can have different options, can have different subcomponents, choices of different subcomponents and components. So again, most projects are like that. So you need to do it like in what we call monetary value, which is the dollars and cents values, or the benefit and cost in the dollars and cents value, and as compared to those that is qualitative value, which is it can be qualitative or also quantitative, but in a non-monetary units, like the numbers, or health index, pollution index, those are it's not monetarily valued, but it's actually a number as well. There are numbers to it, but it's just presented in different unit. So feasibility studies is really a very essential. We can actually conceptually put this all under. We put our scope through, through this test. Then when you come out of this test, you say, you're very comfortable, you're very confident, you've got the risk assessment and all that, you can proceed with the project.